Hello, my name is Kevin Gutierrez, and Ralph Sensei and Jason Stork and others have motivated me on making a video. It's going to be extremely primitive. I am by no means a technical guru. What I'm going to go over originally, I hope to make a series of clips today. Some things I'm going to cover that you can maybe look forward to are, today I want to go over, and right now I'm going to be going over the 4 rules of firearm safety. Then I want to discuss how I'm dressed today and what I'm carrying and some of the reason behind what I'm carrying. And then I'd also like to demonstrate a tactical reload and a speed reload, also with what I'm wearing today. So let's get started. The four gospel, if you wish, firearm safety rules are that all firearms are always loaded at all times. That's rule number 1. So again, that you see a firearm, presume, assume, just know that it's loaded. So again, treat all firearms like they're loaded. You know that they're loaded. That's rule number 1. The second rule is that you keep your finger off of the trigger until you are sure of your target and you want to discharge a round at that target by pressing the trigger. So again, your second rule is that you keep your finger, so this little sucker right here, you are my only safety. You want to keep this guy off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. The third firearm safety rule is that you do not want to cover. That's the term you use to pointing your muzzle, the business end of your weapon, the business end of your firearm at a target. You do not want to cover or point your weapon at anything that you are not willing to destroy. So if you don't want to destroy your loved one or a certain piece of property or whatever, don't point your pistol or your rifle or your shotgun or whatever firearm you may be using at that object or person, particularly people, human life. So that's your third firearm rule, is not to cover anything that you're not willing to destroy. Your fourth firearm rule is that you want to be sure of your target. You want to know what your target is. Maybe it's a threat, it's a bad guy coming at you, willing to do you serious bodily harm. Maybe you're at the firing range, you're practicing your shooting, but you want to be sure of your target. You want to know what your target is, you want to know what's in front of your target, you want to know what's all around your target. And, of course, in a heated self-defense situation, you might not take time to think what's on the other side of that target, but this is a good time to think about it and to start training by thinking, okay, what type of penetration does my pistol have, my rifle, my shotgun have? But especially in the firearms range, you don't want anybody or anything that you're not willing to destroy behind your target. So the fourth firearm rule is to be sure of your target. So a quick review here is, all firearms are considered always loaded at all times. You keep your finger off your trigger until you're ready to shoot your firearm, and you don't want to point it at anything you're not willing to destroy, and you want to be sure of your target. So, quick demonstration here. I'll back up a little more here. So, when you get your firearm here, again, the four rules are: this firearm is considered loaded. Second thing is, I'm going to keep my finger off the trigger until I'm ready to depress the trigger. The third thing is, I do not want to point my firearm at anything that I'm not willing to destroy. And the fourth rule is that I want to be sure of my target. So, real quickly here, a good way to make sure that weapon is safe or ensure that it's safe, even though you're still going to treat it like it's loaded, is remove the ammunition source. It's a revolver, of course. You got to open the cylinder. Just a quick example here on this semi-automatic 6-hour P220 45 ACP. Okay, magazine is empty. Quick way to ensure that your weapon is safe is that you remove the ammunition source, and then you want to charge the slide several times to the rear. The way I like to charge the pistol is to keep my hand off the ejection port and like you want to hit your shoulder with it real hard. A lot of people want to charge a weapon like this. I think it's kind of sissified. Some small pistols, that's the only option, if that's how your hands move, whatever. With a large full-size pistol, when possible, this is how I can charge a weapon. Then, locking my slide in the rear, I ensure I visually and physically inspect to make sure that there is no magazine in the magazine well. In other words, no ammunition source, and there's no rounds present in the barrel, in the ejection port, about ready to be, where it would be discharged. So we know that that's safe. So we're ready to, whatever. If you want to do something like this video, this is a good way to do it, where you know your pistol is loaded. If I was working with somebody else, this is a nice courtesy to that person, that once you have it in this lockback method, you can also let them both visually and physically inspect to see that it is unloaded. Say if you're giving a demonstration in front of a group, you still don't want to cover the group or point the live weapon at the group or the real weapon at the group, but you would want to make sure that it's safe. So those are the firearms rules that we will be covering today. A real quick review here is that this firearm, as all firearms, are considered loaded. Second thing is, I'm keeping my finger here, my index finger, my trigger finger, whichever hand I'm using, you're keeping your trigger finger off of the trigger until you are ready to depress that trigger, making a smooth press of the trigger. Front side, smooth press. And the third thing is, you do not want to point it at anything you're not willing to destroy. And the fourth thing is, you want to be sure of your target. I do thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you effective and safe training. Thank you very much.